You were talking about some of your influences, and they were all female.
Yeah.
Were there any male influences?
Eddie Guerrero,
Okay.
Roddy Piper, like love. There was something like so lovable, like lovable scoundrels, and
Yes,
I think
yes.
the fact that they were different and like scrappy, like there was just something I was very drawn to about.
Like mischievous little boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Troublemakers. Yeah. I love a troublemaker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously.
That resonates. But one of the things that I wanted to ask you about is, your support of women.
Yeah.
And, you were explaining to me a little bit about how much that means to you. And I'd love to know whatever you're willing to share about your perspective. And, I'll just let you talk.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about this the other day. I think a lot of times for any sort of struggle, either when you go through something that's hard, you either become someone who is like, everyone else needs to feel how hard this was, or you become someone who's like, I don't ever want anyone to feel that pain. And that I just went this way of like, that sucked. I won't ever want to hurt anyone in that way. My goal in everything I do is to help people feel less alone. Because it's the worst feeling in the world, to feel isolated, to feel alone. And so
Even alone in your own mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I have really bad anxiety. I have really bad social anxiety. It's always been very hard for me to make friends and find my...
Because you want to punch everyone in the face.
Yeah. I'm like, are we doing this? We'll throw down.
You're going to know who's the boss in this relationship.
Take my earrings off. I'm from New Jersey. But yeah, so like I very much grew up as like the kid that didn't have, my table in the cafeteria. So the goal in life is always like, okay, you don't have to fit at somebody else's table. I'm just going to build my own fucking table and everyone's invited.
Yeah.
And so getting into this business and seeing how talented and like just so like bursting with talent all the women were, and how little opportunity there was to show it, was very heartbreaking. But then I got the opportunity. And so much of it felt like luck, but it also felt like being super prepared and like this is my moment. I've been waiting for my whole life. But it did feel a lot like I was the only one, at the time. And I was very grateful for it, but I wanted to feel, I didn't want to be the last.
Right.
I'm happy to be the first. I don't want to be the last. And so throughout my career after, because of stuff that was difficult, I don't ever want to be someone who makes it harder for someone to come to work. Anytime there was somebody new or...
Because you experienced some of that, right?
Yeah. And, I have I wrote a book and there's not a single...
You should plug the book.
It's called Crazy is My Superpower.
Yes. And it was a #1 bestseller on the New York Times.
New York Times bestseller.
Big deal.
But I didn't name anyone when I talked about like bad stories, because I feel like when we know better, like we do better, and who we are when we're younger is probably not representative of who we're supposed to become. But I did have like some hard sort of isolating experiences, and I know I'm not like the easiest person to make friends with. Like I'm sure, I can't like say it was anyone, like just everyone else's fault, but like I did feel very alone in my career, and it was the people who were so kind to me. I put those stories in the book because I was like, those are the moments I'll remember forever.
Right.
When like Beth Phoenix saw that I did 4 matches in one night because I was like a utility man in the beginning.
Right.
And she pulled me and brought me to talent relations, and she was like, she's done 4 matches. I hope you guys are paying attention. Like you're working her, but also look how good she is. And she was like champion. And I was like,
that's awesome.
whoa, you know? And then even during like NXT season 3, when we were like doing limbo contests and chocolate eating contests.
Yeah, but when NXT was different.
Yeah, NXT was...
it was not its own.
It was a web show.
Yes.
And it was like a humiliation ritual for these young girls who, we didn't have time to get like hair and makeup.
Different than the Diva Search.
Yeah, it was very different. Yeah. It was sort of like a fan voted competition, and all the competitions were like embarrassing.
Goofy.
And and like the announcers would just like make fun of us, and we were just felt so being down. And I remember like Layla was like, here, put your stuff near my stuff. Oh, hey, maybe you should wear a better dress than that. Like, you would like help me like fix my bra, like, because my dress was from like Burlington Coat Factory.
Right.
Like, I didn't know how to dress. I still don't know how to dress, guys. But like,
you
didn't get
the
any
tone
better.
though. You own it. Like this is.
But like, I just
You have people actually imitating how you dress. Yes.
But stuff like that. The kind moments are the ones I want to like share with the world and spotlight. And the not so kind moments are the ones that like take your spirit away and just I never wanted to be someone who perpetuated that.
Yeah.
And so I would do everyone's tryout match, and I would try and make sure that everyone who was brand new like felt welcome. And so now to see this new generation and see them, they're so sweet to each other in the locker room. They're so kind and like they're friends and they mean it. I want to be like mama to them and be like, what do you need? Like, how do I protect you? How do I put you in a bubble forever?
That's so great though.
Yeah.
I mean, and it has evolved so much.
Yeah.
And I was never in the locker room per se, right? So I didn't know what it was really like, But I'm so grateful for where it is now.
Yeah.
And for people like you who have paved the way and been the example, and paying it back, for Beth and Layla and, everyone who was kind to you. I love that you're highlighting the kind moments.
Oh my gosh. Those are the ones that stick in my head like 15 years later. Like, oh my God.
It means the world.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Just the little hand up or the little recognition, like just someone who's got your back.
Yeah. Just makes you feel less alone.
It's your Maya quote.
Yeah.
People won't remember what you said or what you did, but they'll remember how you made them feel. She always quotes it, but it's exactly what you're like, these few kind moments are what I took with me.
It's so, so true. And anytime I get it, like, Maria, she came to FCW and was like, I'll train with you. Cause like, it just like, and then when I went on the road, she was like, oh, I trained with her. And like, I was like, somebody knows me on the road. Like, it's just so nice. Cause it's intimidating when you first come on the road and you're by yourself. And then I remember, I think I was like, I hadn't met Mickey ever, but I was an indie girl. And back then there was not a lot of indie wrestlers that came into the business. And I guess she knew that. And I like was on the road by myself, like a SmackDown, like terrified. And she's like, hi, and came up and gave me the biggest hug in front of everyone. Just kind of almost to be like
welcoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like leave her alone.
Yeah. I've got her.
And I will never forget like how safe that made me feel. And I didn't know her and she didn't need to do that. And I think I like recently like DM'd her to like tell her that. Like, I don't know if you remember this, but it meant everything. So
I hope she listens to this too.
Oh my God.
And hears you say that.
Like just shit like that. It's like, you never know what somebody needs or is going through. So like a tiny bit of kindness can like literally stick with someone for like 20 years.